Do you need to turn down your light?
It is kind of
It's
blinding me.
little bright.
I'm just going to turn it to the left. That's better.
Oh, yes. Hi, friends. How are you? Are you ready for us to do a pod? Please check in and let us know where you are, how you are. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? You survived the big 4th of July weekend, you know?
It was a great weekend. Because you know what else is on the 4th of July?
What's that?
It wasn't just the birth of America. It was the birth of my papa.
Oh.
My dad's birthday is the
really?
4th of July. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I know.
Wow.
The
And
big
so
8-0.
he was 80.
8-0. He is so old. He's the oldest man alive, I think. He is so old.
You do have the oldest father that I know.
Yeah.
He's older than my dad by a good bit.
That's awesome.
It's
always
awesome.
been something that I bragged about for some reason. He's 50 years old. He was 50 years old when I was
And
born.
we're going to get into this once
Yeah.
we begin recording the podcast,
yeah,
but we're here live with you. And Steven is first in. You are first in, my friend. I've got to. Oh, my goodness. What's up, B-Pace? How you doing, man? Why don't you pop over? Why don't you pop over and enjoy the podcast? We'd love to have you if you're not doing anything this afternoon. But yeah, so we are back in the same space, which is exciting. I was away for almost 2 full weeks. It was 12 days.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
You just be doing that. I can't leave and go anywhere for longer than like 4 days.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like that. I got to be in my space, man.
Yeah. I really enjoy going and having the adventure of fill in the blank.
Sure.
You know, like I can go and have like a month-long trip somewhere, but yeah, we'll get into
that.
Why I had to come back maybe a little earlier, but yeah, Ben's dad 80.
Big year for him.
And probably something that we need to chat about with y'all. Oh, by the way, Steven, who was first in with a comment, he did it at 5:55. And
That's Danny's lucky number.
that is my lucky number.
That means something.
Because I was born on 5/5. That's my birthday.
Yeah.
May 5th. And so when you have the repeating numbers, it means something. There was like somebody channeled you, Steven. They channeled you to do some good, or
Yeah,
at least to make me feel good. So I appreciate you, man. But yeah, if you are watching this live, do drop in the comments. Follow all the things at Hello Danny Show. And we're gonna be here with you. And I think we're just gonna get right into it.
Let's
I think
do
we're gonna just do this thing here.
It's the Hello Danny Show podcast featuring Danny Myers, Ben Harris, and friends.
Friends like Dawn Pittman, Stephen Biscardi, Brian Pace, better known as B Pace. Hi, Ben Harris. Oh my goodness, we are coming in hot.
Oh, baby.
It is our Instagram at Hello Danny Show, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Send us DMs, anything that's on your mind. We have a phone number, and there are a few of you that really like texting and calling at random times. Yes, keep them coming. Whenever you're listening to this podcast, it doesn't matter. We're going to get your phone call or your message. So anytime, 919-295-0388. 919-295-0388. Or maybe a jazzy version of it. 919-295-0388. Woo! But yeah, excited to be here.
I'm happy to be here. It's been a lot of people were asking, why didn't you drop an episode last week? We took the week off.
I know, took the week off, and I think this is going to be the second to the last of this season. I think we're coming up to like the season finale of Cocktails and Chat.
Okay.
Before there is the rebirth of season 2.
Season 2 is going to be big. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah, there's some big changes, big exciting changes that are coming. I don't know if I want to get into
Come
it.
on.
I don't know that I want to get into it. I think we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about it next week. Big, exciting. I think we got more fun things to talk about with you listening.
Got it.
First and foremost, my ringworm is all gone.
Thank God. I was
Everybody,
worried.
so many calls at 919-295-0388. Very concerned that the ringworm was taking over my entire wrist. It didn't. I'm fine. I have full use of my right hand.
And I bet people were worried because you talked about the ringworm and then we didn't have an episode without any notice. So didn't know if you took you out
it
or what.
was like sepsis. It just like took over my whole body.
Well, I'm glad
But
it's
yeah,
gone.
the ringworm is gone. 4th of July was yesterday. If you record right, it was yesterday?
Yeah.
I'm like in such like a weird time warp. So 4th of July, also Ben's dad's birthday.
Let's give it up. Happy birthday, Saul.
Saul was 80 yesterday.
He is the oldest person to like live in his family. Like he's made it the farthest out of anybody in his family.
And Ben, you did post a picture with your dad.
I did.
Do you notice? Yeah, you did on your social
did.
media.
Okay.
Did you forget?
I did forget. Yeah.
You did. And you, because you've grown your mustache in, you look so much like
I
him.
know, right? Isn't it awesome?
It's awesome.
My dad's adorable. I hope that I can age as gracefully as he's aged.
Yeah, no, because he's got a full head of hair at 80.
He's got it all.
Full mustache.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely looks many years younger than 80.
Yeah.
And very, like, he just went to Israel. I mean,
That's
he's
right.
traveling. He's doing things.
He's doing the damn thing.
taking pictures.
Uh-huh. And he's doing all that. And his brothers came down who also have that great facial hair, both Herb and Alan.
Alan and Saul.
Yeah, baby.
Wow.
And we took a picture, all of us together, and man, we'll post it at Hello Danny Show. You can
Okay.
find it there. And,
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah, and it's just like it's all the mustaches, and we went out to dinner, and people were like, "Are you guys related?" Because we look so similar.
And are you 30 this year?
yeah, at the end of the year, I'll be 30.
So your dad is 50 plus years older than
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
He was over 50 when he had you.
I'm telling you, man, we talked about before. That man gets it in. He gets it, and I love him for it.
Because he doesn't watch our these things, right? Like
We're trying to figure out because he's not on
listen to
Facebook.
podcasts,
But yeah, he doesn't. He's just not in the technological world. He does text. We talked about that.
Right.
So we're hoping that he can enjoy this somehow. But as of right now, no.
because the question I'm going to ask may be insensitive.
Oh.
Or because you've gotten into trouble with your family, mostly your wife's family.
That's
Your family kind of seems to be okay with anything
yeah.
you say about them. But
just ask.
is your dad? Is the girlfriend still with him? Or
So they
are together.
They're living together, and that's all I'll say about that.
all right, I have another question.
Okay.
Answer it or not. So he has a live-in girlfriend, and then to the best of your knowledge, he has other girlfriends.
That I don't know for certain.
Okay,
So I
but
don't-
you have a theory that he does.
I now get flustered because I don't know.
Do you have a sense? Is there evidence that he's got?
There's no concrete evidence, but knowing my dad, he loves the ladies, and the ladies love my dad. So that's all I can say about that.
And okay, all right. I'm moving on. I'm
We
moving
gotta
on.
move on. I gotta-
Good time in Virginia with your dad.
It was
and the
great.
things. Okay, good.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to recollect all the things we did because he is older, so he doesn't get to do that much. But we did. Oh, we went into caverns, like underground.
That's my nightmare. I
know
hate
it
it.
is.
I don't like claustrophobic things. I told you I went in that Luray Cavern.
Yeah,
Is
that's where we
the-
went.
Yeah,
The Grand Caverns.
that's the one because they've got lights in there.
Yes,
And somebody accidentally shut off the lights and left us in the dark.
they left you. They did that like on accident.
It was a nightmare. So just to, and because I don't know that where you are, they have caverns, but in Virginia they have these with stalactites and they're caves.
They're caves,
and
yeah.
you go and way into. Are they underground or just?
So
kind of
yeah, they
above
are
ground?
No, they're underground. They're caverns, and it's like it opens up into the world. And I think this one in particular.
What's
is
the
like,
difference between a cavern and a cave? I don't know.
That's a great question. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. They
It's
didn't-
like vase and vase, I think.
exactly. Yeah.
That a cavern is a fancy cave.
The tour guide did not differentiate.
Didn't
that.
give you any help
No,
on that.
no. But it was,
But yeah, so you go in and it's very tight. Very tight
Yeah.
in some of these turns because you're going in turns through these caverns.
yeah, you're going on like a trail almost.
with the tour guide, right?
Yes.
And with the group that I was with, there was another group that was coming out, and the dopey guide on his way out shut off the lights and left us deep in a cavern in the pitch black.
That's my nightmare.
There were children and they were screaming.
No.
And since it's a cavern, so it's cement, like kind of some, it's very echoey.
Yeah.
And so children screaming, no light. I mean, there is no natural light.
It's pitch black. It's
Luckily,
pitch black.
you know, you have your phone, so you can use the phones to get some light. So the tour guide left us
What do you mean?
to go and turn the light back on because he was
no.
afraid that we would like stab ourselves on one of these stalactites or stalagmites. Nightmare, dude.
That's terrible.
It was really. I'm glad your experience at Luray Caverns was better.
It was good. It was a lot of fun. But they do have like a section where they're like, okay, you're gonna, you know, because these grand caverns, they've been around since like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
People have been exploring them, so they wanted to show what it was like to explore without the light. So they intentionally cut the lights off.
I hate it.
And you know me, I'm afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
I don't like dark.
And there's no light.
And there was a kid, he was probably 4 years old. He was like, can we turn the lights back on now? And I was like, yeah, we should turn the lights back on because the kid really wants you to do that and for no other reason. But yeah, it was a good trip though. I bet my dad enjoyed it, my uncles enjoyed it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. My trip was to where I'm from, which is upstate New York, a little town called Canton, New York. St. Lawrence University, Canton College,
Go
SUNY
Bulldogs.
Canton. Bulldogs.
I was a guess.
I was like, the Herman DeKalb, I think, is Bulldogs.
Yeah.
It's one of the smaller central schools up there. So yeah, there's Bulldogs up there. My team was the Golden Bears, the Canton Golden
That's
Bears.
adorable. Who would want to play the Golden Bears? Okay,
The Golden Bears.
All right.
And our colors were yellow and brown, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So it's
it makes
like-
me think of Teddy Graham.
We used to say shit and baby shit.
Yeah.
Is what the colors are.
Nice.
So not the most attractive school colors for the Golden Bears, but it was so going up there was super fun. Nature, no caverns, nothing claustrophobic, but it was absolutely beautiful. It was a great visit.
You did
up north.
nature? You did some nature
I
stuff?
did. I've got
What did you
pictures
do?
of hiking. I did.
You went on a
hikes.
hike?
Well, I mean, it was on trails.
But you have expressed greatly how much you don't really care for hiking.
I don't like thrill seeking, but
Okay.
I'll do a hike.
Oh, okay. All right.
As long as it's not where you get lost in the woods. I did get lost in the woods too, by the way.
How's that? It's a trail.
So,
you just
I
follow
know,
it back out.
I know. So, well, that's eventually I had to do that. So I took this one trail, and usually hiking trails, you go and then it loops around, right?
Something
That's
like
a hiking trail.
Or
It-
you
it-
go up and then you go back, right?
Well, that's one I did, and I didn't like it. So I did this hiking trail, and I thought it was going to be like 2 miles. And so but I was committed. I was just going. And at about 3.8 miles, it dumped out onto a highway so far from my home. Like, it was like, all right, do I walk the highways back? I mean, there was no sidewalk, just a shoulder on a highway.
What?
And so I had to turn around and go back. And
Wait,
it was,
how did
I
you-
ended up walking like almost 8 miles.
So it was supposed to be a 2-mile hike. So you
Well, I know
kept
I did.
going?
I didn't know.
oh.
But I assumed because this is a trail in the town.
Yeah.
That started on a college campus, and I saw the little map. It didn't say distance. It was you walk by the horse stables, and then you come out, and I'm like, okay, so at some point it's going to loop back around. It
Right.
never looped back around.
No,
I got lost in the woods.
Yeah, I almost had to hitchhike back home. That's crazy.
It was really
Wow.
scary. It was like, what do I do here? And it was like 8 miles.
Yeah, and you're up in the wilderness of New York. I feel like because there's really vast places in New York, right? Like where there's
21,000 steps that day, Fred.
Good for you.
21,000.
Unintentionally.
It was crazy. And something else happened that has, to my knowledge, I know you've experienced bullying. We all have.
Sure.
I have not been bullied by a child as an adult until this trip.
This was your first time ever getting bullied by a child?
By a 5-year-old.
Oh, ouch. What
So-
happened?
It was so hurtful. So it was a graduation season. So I've got a neighbor and their daughter was graduating high school. So there was a big gathering. And so I was there for one of the parties that they had for her as she graduated.
Okay.
So the entire family is there. And they had one of the people that are my age has 5 and 6-year-old boys.
Okay.
And they are running around. They're just 5 and 6-year-old boys are just crazy. And so they're running around. And so the first thing that this little kid, Cooper was his name, he walks up to me and he goes, who are you?
Who do you know here?
I know. Who are you? Is what he said, which I thought was really funny. And I explained, well, I live next door, and you know, I don't live here anymore, but I live next door. And so then I just was like, okay, I'm not going to have quality conversation with you, so I'm going to start talking to your mother. And so we're having this, and you know about me that I'm a laugher.
Yeah.
And especially at a party.
Yeah.
Especially at where there's like people and you want to like have good energy. And so I'm just laughing. And the 5-year-old picks up on this. So I laughed at something that was said, and he looks at me and he goes, ha 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 ha. And I could tell he was mocking my laughing.
Yeah, he definitely was.
And I was
That's
like,
brutal.
oh my God, I can't believe he just did that. He did it in the most hurtful bully way. With his little jaw dropped all the way down. Like the lion in the Wizard of Oz.
Pretty good.
It was like ridiculous. It was so hurtful.
Oh, yeah, kids are ruthless.
And it was like, and his mom like kind of grabbed the top of his head and just like turned him and walked him in the other direction.
Move along, twerp. That's so funny.
It was really great. I'm like, I just got. And what age are bullies made? You know, there's not 2-year-old bullies or 3-year-old bullies. Is it 5?
I think so.
I think 5 because that's kindergarten. So you're interacting with people that are not your family. So so
you start picking on people that aren't like you, or if
5.
he was ready to just dish it out had his mom not
so
sent
great.
him on his
It
way.
was so great.
That's hilarious.
Another thing, there's so much going on. Did you see that there was cocaine found at the White House?
I did. I saw the headline. I didn't read into it because I was doing something. But
we got a little.
okay.
Got
Let's
a
see
little
it.
audio of cocaine found at the White House.
We have a yellow bar stating cocaine.
Yep. So that was the 911 as they're calling in. I guess they do like a field test. So they saw white powder, and the Secret Service freaks out and thinks it's anthrax or some kind of poison. And so they do the test, and it comes back as coke.
Oh, dude, I bet so many of those staffers are doing coke. I bet
You
they're
think
all
so?
coked out. Oh yeah, you got to keep up, man. You got to stay awake and hustle hard, and that's how you get. I don't know. To the top.
And the president and his family were away. So it's like when the boss is away, are the other people in the White House just having cocaine binges?
Oh yeah, they're
In the
partying.
White
I
House?
believe it. Oh yeah, I believe it so hard.
It's just such a great story.
I know. But I mean, these young kids, they're partying all the time. They gotta.
These young kids.
These
You've been hanging around your 80-year-old
I
dad.
know.
These young
These
kids.
damn whippersnappers
It's
in their
unbelievable.
drugs.
These young kids.
Listen.
What's on your mind, friend?
Buddy, I can't stop thinking about this. Is there something in your head that's a cult, but it's not a cult?
Oh.
Feel like you know where I'm going with this, because I just feel like these Jeepers are getting out of it.
The Jeep people.
The Jeep people.
Yeah.
Because part of this is a little jealousy. They have that Jeep wave, and I like waving, and I don't have a Jeep, but I want to.
But people that have Jeeps wave at other people that have Jeeps.
Yeah, and so
it's the Jeep wave.
Yeah, and that's step one of their cult mindset.
You're just sad they
rules.
don't have a Ford Ranger cult.
I wanted
You
one.
want a Ford Ranger wave?
I tried to do the Ranger salute. I have done that to every Ranger I've come in contact. I salute them, and they just look at me like I'm
because
crazy.
that's how it picks up. It
Yeah.
takes a while. Just keep at it.
I'm gonna keep doing it. I
Do.
really am. So that's. I feel like the Jeep wave. That's okay. But they have all these Jeep meetups, and they talk about Jeep things. I'm like, what are we doing? But now I don't know if you've ever noticed their little duck thing that they do.
I don't know this.
You don't know this?
No, tell me.
Okay, so they like travel around with little rubber duckies, like bath toy rubber duckies, and they have them on their dashboards. Like I have a friend who has a Jeep, and he has probably 20 rubber duckies on his dash. And what they do is, if they spot a Jeep out in the wild, they'll take one of their rubber duckies and then put it on your Jeep. And I'm
Why?
like, why the hell are we doing this?
What
You guys
is-
are insane.
You got the wave.
You got the wave, you got your meetups. What is this?
Don't leave me clutter. I would be furious because you would feel bad about throwing it away because it was a nice gesture.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with a rubber duck?
No.
If you have one, that's all you need.
I know, but then you start accumulating them, and now it's like if you see a
Like,
Jeep,
remember when people do some stuffed animals in the back window
Yeah.
of their cars?
Yeah.
And
It's like that.
I don't like that.
Yeah. But
I mean, I definitely judge people that did that.
Yeah, and
Especially
I'm-
when they were adults.
and I'm judging the Jeepers. I want an explanation. I don't come at me because I know there's a lot of people who have Jeeps and they are very passionate about their Jeep. But we gotta end it somewhere.
My dad, he was a Jeep guy for 2 years.
Right.
So
yes.
usually, if you buy a car, you keep it, I would think, at minimum 3 years.
Sure,
Because
sure.
when you're trading it in at 2, usually that's a bad time for trading it in. Usually you're what they call upside down.
Uh-huh.
But and he will never admit this, but I have a theory that he got sick of all the Jeep culty stuff.
I bet you he did. I bet you hated that stuff.
Well, he's a guy that would hate all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when he started, I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? You're going to hate all these people waving at you. And now I know about the duck. Probably was the duck thing.
Oh, it had to have been.
He probably thought it was some kind of a terrorist thing, some kind of an Antifa thing.
Exactly.
Coming after
These damn leftists are trying to get me on their ducks out of it. Yeah.
What is this leftist pinko stuff? But yeah, so it was sudden that all of a sudden he left the Jeep cult. It was because 2 years, like it's not time. And I would check in on him every so often. I'm like, how's your car? How's your Jeep? And he would always say all these glowing things. And then boom, one day he traded that cult for a different cult, which is the Mustang.
The Mustang cult.
It's
Yeah.
another one.
He
He's got a
did.
Mustang. And that's definitely another one. Friends, we've got more things to get into. So many things. And we didn't even mention, this is the podcast where we make and eat food. It is Speedies.
Yeah, baby.
Which is an upstate New York thing. I'll explain that. And we're going to have that during our little dinner break here. And then we're going to be back with so much more. Please definitely call 919-295-0388. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Beth. Hi. Is it, are we not, does it sound okay?
Wish it was easier to watch your episodes. Is it hard?
Is it? I don't know.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, friend.
I'm sorry.
Gotta tweak your microphone's snapping again.
It's snapping a little bit.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I need to just be up on
I think
it
you
more.
need to be up on
I'll
it.
be up on it more.
For the next one. But yeah, hi there. We got a pronunciation on this one. We got a pronunciation. Now I forgot. it.
Noily? Noile?
Noel?
Is it Noel? I think it actually might be. I think you're right. I think it was Noel.
I can't believe I didn't retain it. We asked
Chrysostom.
you. We asked you, and now I'm really sad that we did not retain that knowledge.
It's definitely not Noily.
No. Nole.
Nole.
Nole. Nole.
Noile? There's an I in there. See it?
Noele.
Noile. Noile. Noile Chrysostom. Chrysostom.
All right, Ben, you go ahead and talk. I'm going to play with your microphone.
Beep boop but that boop boop. Oh man. Yeah, when I mean I've known about these rubber ducks for a long time, the Jeep rubber ducks. If you're just tuning in with I guess they spot a Jeep out in the wild and they rubber duck them, but I just don't get it. And where does it end? Honestly. Got rubber ducks now. And then what?
And then what?
And then what? I don't know what could possibly come after that, but it can't be
Other
better.
toys.
Yeah. Other toys, yeah, exactly.
All right, guys. Well, don't forget the podcast always drops Friday mornings. And if I get it edited in time, it might be up like tomorrow.
Thursday.
Tomorrow. But we will be back.
Speedy
And we
time.
love you. And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.